Jesus is the lighthouse. And from the rock was hid. And shone his light of love around me. And I really see just what it wasn't for the lighthouse. Tell me where was my defeat?
Bibles to the book of Revelation. Chapter 13. Many people do not realize the day and time that we live in. But life waits on no man. And the end of this world as we know it, it is truly about to come to an end. And you have to understand that this world as we know it is not going to continue as it is. It has a reckoning day. There's a day of judgment that they're going to have to answer for. And that Savior called Jesus Christ, whom you've heard about, who was crucified, who rose again on the third day, is on his way back. And you say, I believe in God. You say, I believe in Jesus. And you say, I know him. Well, some people may doubt it. And I don't know, you may doubt it, or you may think you know. But when he comes back, you'll know for sure. Because if you're not there to meet him, then it was evident you didn't know him. And if you knew him, you didn't accept him. We are headed for the worst period of time that the world has ever seen. Worse than any war, any earthquake, any flood. As a matter of fact, these days will be so terrible that if God would not shorten the days, no flesh would survive. And when we mean by shorten the days, we don't mean taking away the hours of the day, but counting the days of those troubles, making them short, not allowing them to prolong for a large period of time. This is known as the Great Tribulation. Some of you have heard about it from Hollywood, even though they make a mockery out of it. It is by law that comic books, television programs, even cartoons have to have some type of truth in it. You read and seen movies on the Omen and a special child that would be born. Everybody, all the demons try to protect the child. Now all that's Hollywood, but the child that will be born is not. There is a man coming who God has allowed, but his powers will be ordained straight from hell. Amen. He will not be the devil in the flesh, but he will receive his powers from Satan. He will be the seed of Satan, and he will exalt himself as God. And the world will make war against him, and he will be slain, killed in battle, but brought back to life again. And everybody will say, who can make war against this man? He shall also be a man of religion, but not of true religion. He shall serve the gods of forces, similar to the Islamic religion. He will turn upon the Vatican, bring down the great war of Rome. He will destroy it. Overpower the nations of Europe. They will be influenced by demonic forces. We call him the Antichrist, the man of sin, the son of perdition. And there is a number that indicates his name, though many other people numbers add up to the name, add up to these numbers, they're not for one. But his is the number 666. Now, you've seen this on many movies and different things, but it's not a joke. This man is coming. And he will be instructed and full of demonic power. It is Satan's last attempt before the Lord comes back to try to turn everyone away from serving God. It is not the devil's last attempt, but it's his last attempt before Christ comes back. And this is why you see sin increasing. Because during this time, the devil will be cast out of heaven, meaning he can no longer go before the throne of God and accuse the people of God. He will be confined to the earth, and the Bible says he will be angry because he knows that he has a short time. And in his anger, the Antichrist will come forth. He will only rule for 3.5 years, but the bloodshed and the destruction that will take place. You've heard about this battle called the Battle of Armageddon. Now, many people think that this battle, and it is coming, is the end of the world. It is not the end of the world, but it's the end of this age as we know it. It's the battle that will be fought before Jesus returns. The Antichrist will gather his armies together, and they will turn on Jerusalem to try to completely wipe out the Jewish nation. But what they don't know, that in the process of gathering all these nations together in the east by the Euphrates, around in the valleys over there, the Battle of Armageddon, in the process of drawing all these armies together to the Middle East, they don't realize that the hand of God is in it. And right when they are about to attack and destroy Israel, there shall be a sign in the heavens. They shall hear a shout, a cry, the voice of the archangel. My God. And when everybody looks up, they're going to see him coming in the clouds of glory. They're going to see the Lord with thousands upon thousands of his angels. And Michael, the archangel, will go forth with his angels to battle. And what these people didn't realize, that the battle is not theirs, it's the Lord's. The Antichrist and his army will not be faced with the mortal weapons of men, but they will be faced with the swords of heaven. And these angels will attack these armies. And they will go into the homes of every city. And everybody, praise God, some will be taken and some will be left. 2 will be in the field, 1 shall be taken, the other left. 2 men will be sleeping in their homes, 1 shall be taken, the other left. As the angels bring forth everyone that refused to worship God, everyone that had the mark of the beast upon their foreheads or on their wrists, the angels will take them. The saints of God, those who are living saved, those who have died in God from the time of Adam all the way up to that last day, we shall be caught up in the air and changed with perfect bodies. And we shall meet the Lord in the air. And if we are caught up in the air to meet him, the angels will come forth and they will purge the earth. To those who did not accept Christ and had a knowledge, to those who took the mark of the beast. They will not destroy every sinner, because there will still be people that have never heard of Jesus. And they will have never betrayed him because they never heard. They're still living, they will get an opportunity. The blood that will be slain, the men that will be slain in that day, the blood will be so deep up to a horse's bridle. The bridle is the mouthpiece that put upon the horse's head to control him. Blood will flow 5 to 6 feet high. There will be so much dead that they will hire people to bury the dead. And it would take up to 7 months to purge the land of all the dead. And the Lord shall come on earth, and he will rule and reign for 1,000 years. The devil will be put into a bottomless pit, but his time is not over yet. He still has a job to do. Now, it sounds like a fairy tale, but I got news for you. These are the beginning of those days. We're headed for those days now. The number 666 has been out a long time. It's a government number. It's a number of trade and commerce. It's a universal number. The United States even uses it on some of their cards and things. And now if you have heard anything in the news interview that keep up with science, they've already been putting chips in people and in animals. They're encouraging you to put chips and things in your children so that you can know where they're at all times. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. Years ago, a woman wrote a book called When Your Money Fails. And one of the few books on prophetic events I ever read was 100% accurate. She talked about how they would change the money system. She talked about cable before they even brought it out. And she showed how they would use this number. Her husband was an official in the government, so she had inside information. And she leaked it out. And she said something about the television. That's why be careful when you get these computerized televisions and things with the computers on already built in. And some of you that are into technology, you understand. Back in the 80s, way back then, she said they will come out with a small device that can take in millions and millions of whatever of information, and they called it a fiber optic. This was way back 20-some years ago. And she said they're going to put this thing, in our lines or what have you, and your TVs and things, and then they say that when your television is off, they can still see or hear you. I heard someone once say, in some of the TVs, you see that blinking, it's still active. That's why you unplug it. But is it not true today? There is no secret. They got technologies that know everything, see everything. So a lot of people are panicking. Should we let them give us a chip, or should we take them a whatever, mark or whatever? The thing is this. You're going to see all type of technology like that come forth. But these are only type and shadows of what is to come, meaning they're letting us know that the real deal is coming. No need to panic until he comes. The whole world is Antichrist already. Everything is against Christ already. But no need to panic until the man of sin is revealed. And when he establishes his system, then you step back. However, there's nothing wrong with taking precautions in your heart and in your mind. The Antichrist will come forth, and he will have a religious leader with him, a false prophet that will preach the message of the Antichrist. This is God. And he will be able to do lying wonders and miracles in the presence of the Antichrist, because he gets his power from the devil, and the demonic spirit in the Antichrist empowers that false prophet. And then they will create an image of the beast. When I was a young boy, back in my 20s, when I was reading, this was back in the 80s or 70s, whatever, I was reading, and I said, image of the beast. Let me show you how accurate the Bible is. Now, the beast is a man. I know some of you science geeks, there's a computer called the beast, but that's not the beast. The beast is a man. And they call him a beast because of his nature. Now, and I said, how are they going to make an image of a man? How are they going to create another man? The Bible, way back 2,000 years ago, let us know of cloning. Isn't that something? Way back then, John wrote about cloning. He didn't know what he called it. He saw in the future. He just saw they made an image of this man. Looked just like him, walked just like him, talked just like him, but it wasn't him. And he wasn't human. Somebody says, how you know he wasn't human? You follow the scriptures. The Bible shows the judgment of the Antichrist. It showed the judgment of Satan. It showed the judgment of the false prophet. But it mentioned nothing about the judgment of the image. didn't have a real soul to judge. Technology is something, isn't it? And this image will cause everybody, hear me now, to take the mark of the beast, 666, in your head or on your right hand. And whosoever should not take it will be killed, or you cannot buy, neither can you sell. The more I read that, the more I understand a little bit about capitalism in a sense. Not the extortion part of it, but the part that tries to encourage you not to lean too heavily on government. Because what they would do is take advantage of the system and have everybody lean and depend on the system. So now, if you receive any assistance from this world, use it, but don't put your heart in a check looking for it every month. And though you may receive supplements for food, don't put your faith in that. Treat that like money, because you got it, don't splurge it, and then you run all out. Learn not to be glutton about it. Make it last, so you don't get used to running out and you say, oh, we don't have anything. Ho. Trick of the enemy to get you to lean in on the system. That's the spirit of Antichrist. Use the system, but don't lean on it, because the minute they get a president in office and say, we're taking it all away, the whole country riots. Because they have become dependent. The spirit of Antichrist is being dependent on worldly government. Being dependent on worldly things. Don't put your faith and trust in these things of the world, because it'll set you up for Antichrist. Now, Antichrist is not a mystery. The Bible lets us know the Antichrist is an Assyrian. He's coming from the east, a small country. He's coming out. Now, I understand a lot of people are upset with Trump, and I don't get into politics, but the Islamic countries that he put a ban on, I don't know if he talked to a religious ruler or not, but he's dead on the money, because the countries he put a ban on are the countries from which the Antichrist will come from. Understand that? He's an Assyrian. He's coming from that area of Iraq, Iran and Syria. He's not going to be an Iranian, but Assyria used to cover that whole area. Most likely he'll be coming out of Iraq and Syria, that part of the country. Iran will be his footstool, and Ethiopia will be also. The nations of Europe will be bewitched by his sorcery. And United States and those that are far off, if we don't put our hand into the system, then we'll be spared from his judgment. But these days are coming. So when they say the Pope is Antichrist, don't believe all that. Obama, don't believe all that. They may have an Antichrist spirit, but the Antichrist has not yet come on the scene. He's an Assyrian. He's coming, as one prophet said, he's coming from the land of Nimrod. That's around Iraq in that area. He's coming from a small country. And he will rise. And the powers that do hinder will be moved out of the way. You might have read that in Thessalonians. That which now will let. They says the Holy Ghost. Holy Ghost ain't going nowhere. But it's the ruling powers, major countries such as United States, England, Russia, what happens? Notice what I'm saying. We all will be pushed out of the Middle East, not because they're more powerful, but because we're going to draw back so that Antichrist can come forth. And the only thing the United States will be able to do is to protect its own borders, because the dominant part of the world will turn Antichrist. Read verse 11.
Revelations.
Chapter 13, verse 11.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
This is why when you see people proclaiming to have miracles and doing things, you have to check their spirit, because a lot of these are lying miracles performed by demons to lead you astray. This false prophet deceives people. That's why the Bible says, believe not every spirit, but what? And I don't care how many dreams you have come to pass, or who you say you pray for. I want to know your spirit, and I want to know what you teach. Because if you don't teach it right, then I know, amen, that God is coming to try my heart to see if I love him, to see if I'll follow anything. You understand what I'm saying? So when people grab you, I feel a virtue of prophesying you on the streets, other religious folk tell you, thus said the Lord, don't listen. It may have some truth to it, but you follow their spirit, see where they're coming from before you fear them. Sometimes you got to learn to receive the message, but reject the messenger. You got to know the difference. Everybody that's speaking the words to you don't mean they're true with God. God could have used them for the moment.
Amen.
We've had people here on a couple of occasions, ran into some people by accident, and they spoke prophecy over their whole life. Went right back to them same people. They had no idea what they said or what they did. They had no recollection, because they were only used for the moment. Read.
Saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he had the mark or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
666. I just came to encourage you. If you don't know God, get to know him. Don't fall prey to this system. Don't put your faith and trust in things. Don't get caught up and dependent in heart and mind. You use the world, don't abuse it. So that if any help is taken away from you, it's not a problem. You're still going to function properly.
Amen.
Because that's not where your heart was. That's not where your faith was. Spirit of the Antichrist, one spirit of it is to get you to lean upon the system and put your trust in it more than God. Depend on it more than God. Try to hit you where it hurts. No man can buy or sell. That's just how Satan does it. Jesus fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. He was hungry. And the first temptation Satan brought to him was his flesh. I know you're hungry. If you be the Son of Man, Son of God, turn this bread into stone. Turn this stone into bread. The devil try to hit you where it hurts. They try to get you in your flesh. They try to hit you where it hurts. But Jesus said something very beautiful. Don't you ever forget it. When the test comes your way, when the world threatens you with your faith and says, if you don't do this or do that, we can't do this or do that. Remember what he said. Man shall not live by bread alone,